since 2013, since I started on Twitch, I was been known as RajjPatel or Rajj on Twitch, because during that period of time until about early 2018, I used to do an Indian accent, and I used to play an Indian guy named RajjPatel on Twitch, which is where the name came from. And it progressed into me feeling that it was insensitive, and I dropped the character in early 2018, and then I progressed just sort of being me as you see now, which is the name RajjPatel or Rajj or whatnot. But it sort of occurred to me, sort of going through this process, that it sort of wasn't enough just to move on from the character. I felt like it's necessary to also move on to the name, because it's still insensitive as it refers to that period of time. And I talked to people through this process that I actually didn't fully understand, like why they're offended or how it hurt them or whatnot. And I actually learned a ton from it. And so I ultimately made the decision on my own to change the name from RajjPatel to Rajj. I was going from RajjPatel to Rajj. I was like, oh, and then I actually did it, and I was like, this isn't enough, and I wanted to make the full change. So, in the statement, I apologize to the Indian community, and for anybody that I offended. And I know there's some people that are like, oh, you weren't offended by it. I wasn't offended by it. But truly, that didn't really matter to me. It didn't matter. Like, I really, even if there's like a minority group of people that are like, I feel in this case significant, I want to make a change. And it feels better. I want to be named after me. I don't want to be named after, something that I don't really have the right to borrow from. So I feel confident in the decision. I understand there might be some, branding inconsistencies, and that could cause, some sort of.
Your Discord's still Rajj?
No, it's I need to change that. So there's one thing I need to change, which is my Discord name, because I honestly I lost my password and email, and so I'm trying to get it back. But everything else has changed. Eventually, it'll change once Discord gets back to me and gives me my email. I'm logged in, but I lost every password that I have. But anyway, there could be, I hope people can find my show. The show is going to be the same to some degree, but it was a decision that I was really happy with, and I'm really happy that I've been able to grow a lot and be more out. I came out as gay, be more open with my sexuality and just be open about me, and
I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you and I fucking love you a lot.
I love you.
My take on it, which I guess there was no take other than what you just said, but like regarding the whole thing and what people were saying and everyone the way they're taking it, and the people who are sensitive that like this and that, right? I just feel like, right, the accent I can understand, and I fully can back that and support that. Like in my opinion, like I think that's actually a legitimate thing, right? Now, like, if it was used around me, or if someone used a Persian accent around me, I would find that funny. I wouldn't get offended by it. I think that's hilarious because most Persians that come from Iran, we have a very distinct accent in America, very distinct, right? I don't really care about that stuff, right? But other people do, right? So the accent thing I can understand, but the name, I just the whole I just don't see.
Well, listen, like Rajj is a smart guy. He's very ambitious.
Yeah.
How do you think Rajj is going to get a fucking deal with any sponsorship or any legitimate company whenever he comes to them and says that I'm Rajj and he's actually a white dude named Austin? Don't you think that's going to be a barrier there?
But to Austin's credit, I don't think he did this because of sponsorship money. I mean,
he did it. No, he did it. He did it.
Part of it. He did it because he felt it was the right thing.
A genuine. No, yeah. Austin's a genuine sweet motherfucker, and I love him for that. Like, he's a good guy. Like, he did it for his reasons. He felt like it was
certainly
wrong.
help. I'll say that for sure.
But I do agree.
Well, because we know,
there's like virtually, and I don't lie, like virtually, there was zero pressure to do it. Like nobody told me, it just sort of, you progress and you start to realize things, and things start to bother you after a while. And it's, honestly, truthfully, it's been a progress. I dropped the accent, I felt bad, and cut the name, and then I just fully realized,
it's better to be yourself.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
What led you to eventually decide to change the name in the end? Was there anything that happened? Was it the current events going on, or was it?
Well, I think that definitely now the current events like played into it, like because I really want to be vocal about what's happening and all sorts of things. But then I also felt like I had like skeletons in my closet, if you will, and I felt almost hypocritical, sort of addressing the moment, if you will, with like being sort of like I need to address and own what I've done, sort of thing. So definitely the moment played into things, I think.
And not a lot of people are capable of doing that. Good on you, man. It's
Hey,
very good to hear. I love hearing these kind of stuff.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Honestly, and I'm serious. It's fucking hard to like address the things that like the mistakes that you made and come out and tell people. It was like really hard for me to like, because it's sort of like a sore topic for me for quite some time, and I felt like I really needed to address it. I just don't want to like. I didn't want to just like continue to like just push it off or have that like
Now, for me, and I'm sure many others, so like I said, the accent I can just logically I can understand. Can someone here fill me in, right, on why a white dude naming his online user handle as Rajj could be deemed as offensive by?
Train. If you read his note, I did
read it. I did read it.
I can explain.
So I had conversations because it's important, because I talked to the people that were actually affected. Like I opened myself up to like talking to people that were actually impacted, and basically the way it is because I dropped the character, I dropped the voice, and everything like that, and then but. Still having it is still it's still like I talked to somebody, he described it like this. He's like, I didn't like this is I'm kind of paraphrasing what he said, but he said something along the lines of, I didn't stop watching you, like I didn't like hate you or dislike you, but it was just like for him personally it was like, oh come on man, like really, like you're really gonna keep that after why that's what you're called that, it's because you did that, so it sort of like made him feel uncomfortable. And then I talked to somebody else that was like,
So it's because they're attached. Like, yeah, I see that. That makes sense.
But like, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, he can't keep the why it matters is because it wouldn't matter if he just came out and he said, hey, this is me. Nobody knows who I am, but I'm Rajj. But it's like the context of him doing the Indian accent, of him still being called Rajj as like the residual of that.
Yeah.
Is different than if he just came out originally and said, hey, I'm Rajj. Am I right there, Austin?
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly. Like I've thought about this, and I don't really want to I don't want to be like, yeah, that'd be totally fine, because I don't really know, how people feel about that. But yeah, I don't want to be insensitive. So
I think Rajj is a cool name. I
mean, it's a great name. It's a great name. I just, I don't know. I'm trying to approach things, in the best, most, respectful way possible.
I mean, Train, I'm not, personally Indian, but from just my perspective, and I wasn't personally offended by any of this, but, the character, although he may have dropped the accent and kind of the likeness, the name is still directly attached to it. And if he really wanted to get away from it, he had to fully drop everything. He couldn't just drop the accent and keep the name. He really has to disassociate himself with all of it.
Because it's a constant reminder, right? Like it's a constant thing. Like it'll always be like it was starting to, especially like I look in hindsight, it's like in hindsight, like you sort of look back and like you're like, oh shit, duh, like you're talking to people and you're like, what? They're like, oh, I was like, what do you do on Twitch? And then you talk about what you do, and then you're like, what's your channel? Like RajjPatel, and they're like, wait, what? What is that? Why is it? And then you're like, well, let me tell you, sort of thing. And then you start to realize you're like, well, this is why it's problematic, So
I mean, even more than Rajj, like Patel is a very famous Indian last name. I know several Patels, and it is very distinctively Indian. So for Austin to be able to call himself RajjPatel, it's almost like, what the fuck are you talking about? So Austin,
go ahead.
Well,
I was just going to say, I grew up. Oh, wait, you asked your question. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Well, no, I want to hear your question.
Well, I wanted to know, now that you have to rebrand, and rename everything, how difficult has it been for you? Because Rajj has become such a known name over on Twitch, and all of the shows that you've named have included the word Rajj in all of them. How difficult has it been for you to, rebrand and to try to, work around this?
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is that, I'll be honest, I didn't really care I wasn't focused more on like the brand and business side of things. It was like, cause and I probably should have like at least taken a little bit more care to choosing my name, because now everybody thinks my name is Austin Show, and like my name is not Austin. My name's Austin. My last name is not Show. It's like some weird combination. But anyway, what the hell was I saying? What the hell was the question? I don't remember what the question was.
The question was Slash, why are you laughing?
I don't remember the question.
Fucking Austin's so high.
I'm really I'm sorry. It was something about it was like changing the name.
Well, no, I mean, okay, I think we all understand you did this because you felt it was right. You did this because you felt like you really wanted to show everyone this is who you truly are, and you wanted to change given the current events. But now I'm asking, regarding the shows and the names, you've included Rajj in all of the names. Have you thought about that when rebranding? How difficult has it been for you to change everything going forward?
I mean, it's difficult because it's so familiar, from that standpoint. Like, everything's so familiar. Like, you think of that dating show, and it's like the Rajjchelor, the Rajjchelorette, or, the Rajj Royale, or the Rajj Talent. Everything had Rajj in it for some reason. But then I was like, wait a second. Don't get caught up on, like, that emotional connection. The reason I feel that way is because the show was good, And truly, if you go back and you look at the name, the Rajjchelor is a dumbass name. Not because Rajj is a dumb name. It's because Rajjchelor together doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Nothing on Twitch makes sense at all.
But that's my point. My point is like, that was already a terrible name, and then it, like, look how popular the show got.
Because it's about the content.
It's about the content, and that's what I felt. And I felt like there would be. I knew people would hate the name that I came out with. I just knew people would just hate it, and I understand to some degree, because it's like so different. Like, it's so, like, from just saying it, it's like doesn't sound right because we're so used to the other one. But I think that over time,
of course, over time
it'll just feel normal, right? And that's what I was confident of. So to your point, Slasher. Yes, it's been difficult from that standpoint. To, like, change is really difficult, especially with the name that you've sort of carried for 7 years. But I knew I was going to get used to the change, and, like, it'd be okay. Maybe a little bit in the beginning, everybody's like, "Oh, where do I go?" Like, my dad was calling me. He's like, "Austin, I can't find your channel. I don't know where it is. Can you send me a picture of that?" I'm like, type it in, and I'm going letter for letter with him, and he can't find it. So
what does your family think about you being named RajjPatel through this whole time?
Well, I think, I'm
people in real life, your friends, real life friends, family, people that knew you as Austin and then saw your internet personality as Rajj.
Yeah, my family sort of is, they're all, I'd say they're fairly progressive, but I certainly they have some things to learn about. So I'd say they're a little bit behind me in discovering, the problems with that. And then, I had a variety of people in my personal life generally weren't particularly personally impacted by it. But that didn't really matter to me, really. If you weren't it was about the people that were personally, impacted by it. And I understand that, like, I have Indian friends personally that they didn't feel like they were particularly impacted by it, but that doesn't matter, right? To me, it was about the other people.
I'm going to make a generalization that I shouldn't make, but I'm going to make it because I'm a dumbass. I feel like in matters like this, obviously this is completely anecdotal based on the people I've experienced, so I guess this is exactly why I shouldn't generalize. So, instead I'll make an anecdotal input. In situations like this, regarding any ethnicity or any stereotype or anything like this, it always feels like that white people are more angry than the actual race that is being duplicated. I don't know what that comes from. Some white guilt, some fucking, some sort of trying to make up for something for some. I don't know what it is, right? But I see this everywhere. It's just like a bunch of like kids that aren't even like there. Like, I don't know. This is something I've noticed in the last year. It's crazy.
In this particular case, I went and talked to people from the Indian South Asian community directly, and
good for you.
So
Yeah, good for you.
I think that one of the things that I misunderstood, and I just want to clarify, because I think that if I misunderstood it, other people must have, was like at first, and this is why I think I talked to you about it, Austin, was at first I thought that you were doing this as a response to like community backlash or perceived community backlash, and I kind of am in the camp of like whenever somebody does that, that's usually not the right move. But as I talked to you about it, I learned that like this is like a really highly personal decision because it's just more authentic to yourself to advance in this way, right? Like the Austin show, Austin being referred to as Austin is like how you want to identify yourself going forward as you've kind of changed as a human being. And when I looked at it from that perspective, I respected the decision a lot.
Yeah, I mean, me as a streamer, like, I think, from the time I started as who I was as a person to the time I am now, like, holy shit. Like, I started, I never would have imagined I'd be sitting here, like, being open, with and transparent about my life like I have become. It's like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that because, Austin, you are in the gaming community and we all go by handles online. I mean, when I tell people that I'm named fucking Slasher, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean you're named Slasher? What kind of stupid, edgy bullshit is that? And I'm like, yeah, I picked it when I was 13. What the fuck do you want? And like Tyler, you're named Trainwrecks, and like Nico, and like everyone's named, these made up names, and gaming culture is very tied directly into pseudonyms, which probably alleviated a lot of the potential problems for what RajjPatel would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are many issues, and I'm happy to move on. So the Austin Show, hosted by Austin Show.
Very good.
Wait, have you ever? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, excuse me.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Ladies first.
I was just gonna say. So you want us to call you Austin right now, like?
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Now and forever.
I know you probably don't care about my opinion, but I applaud you for coming out, because not a lot of streamers would do that publicly. Like, probably really hard. So
why do you think I wouldn't care about your opinion?
I'm just like, I don't know. I'm
not gay, Devin.
hold on.
I don't know. I don't really have an answer.
I mean, if it's because you think I don't like you, I have no problem.
No. I just applauding you for what you did.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Cool.
I value your opinion.
Okay, thanks.
And I'm
sorry
if
I feel like I interrupted I interrupted that moment with a bad meme. I'm sorry.
No,
no, you're good.
You're good. In there.
Yeah.
You guys are like bonding. Like,
I think it's all. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's all
good. What was
good.
Anonymous gonna say?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, first of all, I think you are making the right choice without a shadow of a doubt, because at the end of the day, you want to live with yourself. You know what's right. You know what's wrong. You know what wrongs you've done in the past. We're human. We make mistakes. The most important thing is you're able to own up to it, and we shouldn't be judging people's mistakes or who they were in the past, especially those who are willing to make a difference and a change for the better. And I think you're moving toward the right direction.
Thank you.
I don't want to interrupt, and I understand this because I understand the time we live in. I get today's Twitch demographic, shit like that. I get it, but this sounds. I'm gonna be real with you, right? I get the intention behind it, but it sounds way too extreme for the situation that's at hand. Like, I get I'm not Indian, so I can't speak on that stuff. But like, what he did is good. It's good, right? It's a step forward for him. He wants to move on from it. He wants to, there are a couple people offended. That's a couple people too many. I get that, but like the way that this is, like, I don't know.
Look,
like,
I mean,
I think that's
a good
the
idea for him to name himself RajjPatel.
Weird. This feels weird to me.
No,
Train,
it's not even about that. It's about the fact that like if he's trying to get like if he wants to proliferate his show and like make his
I
show
understand
popular,
why he's doing it, and
it's not even
support
about
it.
that. It's about like if he
I'm
has
just-
it as his own fucking name, that's going to be better for him in the long
Okay,
run.
but I don't want you
I
to-
see all of that stuff. Like what I'm saying is like this stuff about, you know, you're a changed person, you've come clean with yourself, you can live with yourself. Like, come on. That sounds like he just like went around saying kill all Indians, fuck those gas stations. Like, you know, that's what it sounds like he's coming from. He's not coming back from that. He's not. He's not some racist, stereotypical. Like he did something. The effect of it was bad, but his intention wasn't this thing where you've changed your life around. Like that's an extreme take.
I think
and once we start going that direction, everything is going to be this crazy thing.
I
So
think the
this is-
transformation more relates to like his character development over time. Sorry, Asmund, go ahead. Sorry.
I think that there is some validity in what Train is saying, in that people are judged on how other people assume their intent is and not what their actual intent is. So like I don't think that Raj or Austin, like whenever he was Raj, like was doing this to make fun of Indian people. He probably just thought it was funny and that was it. And I think that needs to be taken into consideration. It's not like he's openly trying to cause harm or make fun of people.
Like
it was just.
I think it's the right decision either way.
Am I right
but
about that?
Go ahead.
Am I right or what?
No, what I'm saying is I appreciate part of this for me. Part of this, what I want, as I want 100% own it. I don't want any excuses. I don't want any of that. I want to own what I want to own it 100%. And I wanted to take full responsibility. That's part of this.
You
for
don't
me.
have to. You don't have to give us like a PR thing. Just
No,
I mean,
this isn't a
say it.
PR thing. This is what I meant. This is what I wrote. You know, it's not about.
Also,
that.
have you publicly ever released your last name?
No.
Okay.
I think what Train was saying is
Well,
that
yes, I have show.
Okay.
that you don't really have anything to apologize for. I think what this is like you're moving forward in a positive direction. Like everybody champions that, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be too hard on yourself, I think is what Train is saying.
No, I'm proud. I'm proud that I, in the sense that like that I came, like I'm happy with myself that I made this decision. You know,
And
It's
so
the
Train,
right decision to make.
you know what I think is complicating things is in the current day of like age of social media with everything going on, brands like to kind of have like fakeness to them, and they put out these statements that don't mean anything, and they're very hollow, or they're like virtue signaling on something that they don't really care about, or they're only talking about it because they want money, or they're trying to protect their company, or they're trying to protect their resources or whatever, and it comes off very fake. And now when people are trying to be real and they're doing things because it's not about the money, it really is based on how they feel, people get questioned on their intentions to begin with, on why they're doing something. And then that muddies the waters a lot of the time.
I really think what Slasher said is completely true. I mean, you have all these companies nowadays that are just going and, you know, making these statements that are meaningless just to gain social media credit points.
Hey, if I'm a company, okay, I'm gonna change my Twitter image to a black square, okay, because Black Lives Matter.
Well, unless
right?
wait a minute, Devin. Unless it's your community page for the Middle East.
Middle East, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we
then
gotta
you
pay
do
attention to our most important clients. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By
like,
the way,
like,
I understand Train's take on what he was saying. I get it. What I was saying is the fact that this is not a business. This is personal. This is why he feels this is the right move, Train, because this is personal. He feels bad inside. He feels bad inside about something, and he's not going to be able to live with himself going on with RajjPatel if he has that feeling inside of him that he can't let go. There's no way, man. You'll be eating yourself alive. You'll be eating yourself alive.
That's a bit hyperbolic.
No, I mean, but Asmund, all of
I
these
think it's
brands
hyperbolic.
doing this virtue signaling who don't
Yeah.
care or are doing it for money are fucking it up for people like Austin who are really doing it because they do care. Because then
look-
people start questioning, oh, maybe he's just doing it because he wants to rebrand the show. Oh, maybe he's just doing it because he wants to get more money for sponsorship for the show or whatever. When that's not really the main incentive for what is happening. So like big brands and companies have definitely like fucked things up for the people that are genuine on why they do things for morality or ethical reasons.
Man, fuck the money, dude. What is money, dude? It's just a piece of paper that's not going to last you after your lifetime. Dude.
I
It's nothing. It's
completely
meaningless.
agree with Anonymous. Money is a piece of paper that won't last you a lifetime. So give it all to me by Twitch Prime Tier 1 or gift 100 subs right now and show me how rich you are and show me how big your cock is. So, hey, send it over, boys. All right, yeah.